Alright everybody, welcome. So I just got a comment, I didn't just get it, this was actually a while ago, but the assassin boy asked how I made my thumbnails, and I decided, some of you are probably wondering the same thing, so I'm just gonna do a quick video on that. I shouldn't say quick because last time I tried to record this video it took like half an hour, so bear with me. It should be, I'll try to make it faster though this time. So yeah, I just figured, you know, like, teach a man to fish, or give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. Same thing goes here. I mean, I think I'd be doing you more of a favor, teaching you how to make thumbnails and doing it for you. But anyway, so obviously my thumbnails aren't like Disney Pixar quality or anything, but they're pretty average, and you know they should help get you started if you don't really know where to start. So let's just get right into it. Programs I'm going to be using are Cinema 4D, Photoshop, and a little program called Lightshot, which is this right here. And then to edit my videos I use Adobe Premiere Pro, but I'm not going to be going over that. So anyway, if you don't want to, you know, crack Photoshop or even pay for it or use the free trial, you can what you can do is you could use GIMP or Paint.net or really anything, any other. There's a lot of great free image editing software out there. But without further ado, let's just get right into things. So I start out with the Cinema 4D, and this is primarily for Minecraft thumbnails. It might help you with other games too, but this is just my process for doing Minecraft thumbnails. And what else? What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, so I'm gonna be actually making a thumbnail for a video that I might post before this or after this or sometime. But it's gonna be a Pyro Skywars video. So you open Cinema 4D, obviously you could use the trial version of Cinema 4D, you don't need the full version. I repeat, you do not need to buy/crack Cinema 4D to do this. You can just use the trial version forever and it will work fine for what I'm doing here. So alright, so you're in Cinema 4D, and I have a little, if I go to open here, I have a little render settings. I always use these render settings, but I'm gonna assume that you don't have them. Like, I'm assuming you don't have a little render settings set up, so I'm gonna kind of show you how to set one up. So you go top right up here, render, and then this is just what I use. It's just some quick effects, and render up here, edit render settings, and then you'll have this window. I always go 1920 by 1080 for the resolution, and then then you can go down to here where the little button where it says effect, and I select ambient occlusion, and then I go to global illumination, and you can see they get added here. Check mark means they're active, obviously. And then I used one more, I believe it's called depth of field. There it is. And yeah, so those are the three I use. They take a little bit longer to render, but I think it makes it look a little better, in my opinion anyway. So alright, so basically this is my first tutorial, by the way, so bear with me. I don't know if I'm going too fast or whatever. I'll try to go really slowly because I'm going to assume none of you know how to use. This is basically for people who don't have any idea how to use Cinema 4D/Photoshop. So I'm going to go over the really basic stuff. So how to move around the camera. You can see I have my scene here. There's nothing in it, but hold down Alt and then left click, and you can just move the camera to look at it whatever way you want. Zoom in and out is the scroll wheel, and yeah. So basically that's how you navigate through your scene. So the next thing you're going to need, so you have a blank scene now with the right render settings, and you're going to go to File Open. You're going to want to download a Minecraft rig, unless you want to make one from scratch, which that would take a while. So I'm just going to show you what rig I'm using. I'm using the Weedline rig, and if you just Google it, Weedline Minecraft rig, it's not the best rig, but it works for me. It's pretty basic and pretty standard. And he has a Minecraft forum post here, and he's got models, items, mobs, free Steve rig, which is what I'm using, tutorials, and etc. So that's what I'm doing. Of course, you can go to free Steve rig and download it here. I'm assuming you all know how to download things, that I shouldn't have to show you that. But anyway, so Control O, and yeah, so I saved it into my folder here. I'm gonna go ahead and open it, and I have a little bit of an old version of the rig, so I'm not sure how much he's updated it since I downloaded this, but you should get something like this. And I always go with the no facial expressions because, to be honest, this creeps me out a little bit when you have, and plus my dude already has eyes, so I don't really need that. But, and then, or you could go with the smaller eyes, whatever that is. I never use that. So let's just double click on the no facial expressions. And if you wanted to, you could actually click more than once to get more Steve. So like, let's say I have one, click twice, click again. I have 3 now. So you can really have however many characters you want. There's no limit or anything. And by the way, something I should mention. I have two monitors here, that's why my mouse keeps going in and out. So like if I drag a window over here, you won't be able to see it. So I'll try to keep everything mostly on this main monitor here. Moving on. So let's just get rid of these two Steves. It's just going to be me in this thumbnail anyway. But I should probably get rid of this stuff then. So basically when you create a Steve, it creates all these textures that it needs to texture the Steve. So yeah. Let me just make sure. If I delete those. Yeah, I deleted my Steve's texture, so I should delete these ones probably. There we go. Alright. And then this. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we have our character. I don't know why he's under the floor. So you click on this. You can double click to rename it. I'll just name it Evs for now. And yeah, so these arrows, you can move it up and down on the axes. Green is up, obviously, red sideways, and then there should be a third arrow. Yeah, blue forward and backward. So I'm just going to move him about floor level, so he's kind of standing. That looks about right. Alright. So here you have your character, and I'm assuming you're going to want to put your Minecraft skin on it, because I'm assuming you're not a Steve. So the way you do that, go down here to character.png, double click, and then you'll get this window here. These three dots right here is what you want to click on. Obviously, you have to have your skin downloaded. Navigate to wherever your skin's downloaded. I'm already there. And then open. You don't have to accept this. You can hit no. And then bam, it'll automatically change it. Something I meant mention for my version of the rig, it has to be a 1.7 compatible skin. I'm guessing the newer versions, they don't have to be anymore, but I'm just using the old version since my skin's a 1.7 skin anyway. It's not a huge deal. But alright, so you have your skin, and yeah, so let's put him in a pose. Now I'm going pyro, so I'm gonna put like an iron chest plate on him, and then maybe have him hold a lava bucket or like a flint and steel, or maybe both. So that's my plan basically. And I'm gonna put him in a little pose, probably like on this side of the screen. And yeah, so first thing I'm gonna do is what you can do here, up here, there's a little basically what goes on here is there's drop down menus, and I can hit plus here, and I can basically just keep expanding them, and there's just drop down menus inside of other drop down menus. And so you have the feet, you know, you can move them around, you can click anywhere, and just you'll get the hang of it once you are really in the program. But basically, yeah, that's how moving feet around works. And then arms, I think they're supposed to be up here. So what you can do if you want to move one, just highlight it and drag it like that. Bam, perfect. Okay, so you have all the stuff. Really, you don't need to use, I don't use these body parts a whole ton. I just use hands, feet, and you can rotate the head. So I'm gonna, and before I do any rotating at all, I always add a light, because without a light, let me just show you what would happen if you rendered it without a light. There would be nothing, because you have no light shining on your person. So right up here, little light bulb icon, pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead and hit that, and then same basic deal. You move it using the axes, and I'm just gonna put it about right here in relation to my character, since I'm gonna be looking at him this way, so he's all illuminated and stuff. So now when we render it, he's actually visible, so that's good. That's always good. So yeah, let's start making him pose pretty much. So first things first, the head is probably the easiest thing. All I have to do is highlight it, and then go up here to rotate, and then you can, that's really it. All you do is rotate it. You can have him looking at the camera, looking behind him, looking forward. I'll go just looking probably like that. That's just for example's sake, like something like that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine for now. And perfect. And let's see, arms. So right here, right hand, you can make the right hand bending a little bit. And if you don't like the way it's like oriented, the position, you can go down to right hand pull. And really what that does, hold up, one sec. Right hand pull, you can move it like this, so you can change basically, like, I guess it would be the axis. And you can change how he's holding his hand in that position. So basically the rotation of it. So that's helpful. And then same thing goes for left hand. So that looks fine for me. Then the legs, same thing, right foot. I just usually bend the legs a little bit, nothing too extreme. And I know like some people put like days or like hours into their render. This is just a quick render for a thumbnail. So the more you do it, the faster you'll get, and you'll be able to do them pretty quickly. Obviously, this is just for one thumbnail because I do different thumbnails for all my videos. So yeah, so we have him in the pose. It's pretty generic. Let's put some armor on him. Now this is interesting. You just highlight your character and it'll highlight everything. And down here there will be a little armor section. Just check whatever armor you want to put on. The helmet won't look right because I rotated his head. But boots and boots, leggings, and leggings will rotate like with the feet, which is cool. So let's say you don't want diamond armor. The default is diamond. Let's say you want like iron, but you want it even more specific. You're like, I want to use the iron armor from my texture pack. I think that's the best. So what you want to do, go to whatever armor you want. I'm gonna just use a chest plate because that's what you get with the pyro kit. Go to these little dot 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 and navigate to your texture pack. So mine's in resource packs, and then Ev's is shady pack, assets, Minecraft, textures, I think models, and then armor. Perfect. And then quick rundown. Helmet you'll select layer 1. Chest plate you'll also select layer 1. Leggings you'll select layer 2, and boots you'll select layer 1. I know it's weird. I don't know why it's like that, but that's how it is. And obviously you can do it with any of the layers, but I'm going with layer 1, iron. There we go. And if I check this, bam, I got the chest plate for my texture pack. Perfect. Next thing. Let's get some items in his hands. So, control open. Now I'm gonna also be using the Weed Lion items pack. Obviously, more people make items packs than just Weed Lion, but I'm just using this for example's sake. It's pretty simple and straightforward. So just download a pack of items from somewhere on the internet. You can do so from that Minecraft forum thread I showed you guys. That also has items in it. So open up those, and you'll get a similar window here. And it's basically just folders with different items, and basically the items are categorized by the folders. So let's see. I'm gonna go with a lava bucket. I think he has a lava bucket, so that would be probably an other. And you're gonna just look around. Yep, there we go. Bucket of lava. And what else? Maybe I don't know if there's a flint and steel. That might be in tools. So I can go over here and then go tools. I don't know. I don't think it would. I don't know if it's actually in here. I'm just gonna give a quick look around for it, and if it's not there, that's fine. I'll survive with the lava bucket or two. It's gonna be here, and I'm gonna miss it, and people are gonna be angry at me. I just know that. It always happens. I wouldn't think it would be materials. That would be kind of weird. And I don't know if it's here. Yeah, let's ignore that for now. That's fine. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could just make one by combining a flint and a steel, but alright. Now, the problem with this lava bucket, it's nice that there is actually a problem with it, so I can show you how to fix it. It's 2D, and that looks, I don't like that. So if something's 2D for whatever reason, almost every item is not 2D in the Weed Lion item pack. This just happens to be like the one item that's 2D, or one of like the 3. I believe what you can do, I'm just going to try to give it a quick fix here, if I can. You should be able to do this. Well, you can stretch it out, obviously, but if you should be able to make it taller. That's kind of weird. Like, I'm giving the tutorial and I'm trying to figure something out, but this happens a lot, to be honest. Like, sometimes there's just things that you need to figure out by yourself when you're doing this, because not everything's too predictable. Doesn't look like that's gonna work. So troubleshooting time. You're gonna need to do a lot of troubleshooting. So I'm just gonna delete this lava bucket, highlight it and delete it, obviously. And I'm gonna look in a different item pack. I know Tunabit's Minecraft models. I think this dude should have a lava bucket somewhere. Probably miscellaneous. No. Oh, fire. He has fire. That's cool. Oh, models generally are blocks, though. Fire would be cool, though. I was trying to think what I should have now. I don't want to take too long on this, though, so I'm just gonna look for. I had another dude's item pack, which I had to download, and this should have a lava bucket somewhere. Come on. Oh, there's a water bucket. Alright, so leads me to believe he'd have some sort of lava bucket. Like, if he has all the buckets except for the lava bucket, that'll make me pretty sad. It's here. I know it's here. I'm probably missing it. This is an unnecessary delay in the tutorial, so I'm sorry for that. The first time I recorded it was a lot better. What I could do, I guess, might be able to... Oh, maybe he has a flint and steel. I'll look for that. I'm not very good at looking for stuff. I need to... This is an area where I can improve. Yes, he has a flint and steel. Alright, forget all that. I'll just go with the flint and steel. So, you double click on it, and it'll come into your scene here. I don't know where the flint and steel went, specifically. Where is it? Get over here. Where the heck is it? Oh, there it is. Alright, so we're in this weird little, selection thing. I'm just gonna... we're in this little thing with all the blue squares. You don't need to worry about that. Just go back to this box. Just make sure it's highlighted on this box all the time. And there we go. So we can move the flint and steel. I'm just going to put it in my hand. And this can be like one of the harder parts if you're new to this, actually positioning it so the person's holding it. And I'm just going to do it really simple. Just going to move it on the axes. Just put it right into my hand. Nice and easy. No fancy tricks. And you're going to need to do a lot of rotating the camera when you're doing this, which you'll get used to pretty fast. And now let's rotate it so the audience can see it. And then you can also make it bigger by highlighting this rotate tool, scale, and move. 3 very important things. So I can just scale it up. That might be a little too big, but you get the point. There we go. Alright. So I'm holding the flint and steel. It doesn't really look the most convincing, but it's good enough for me. I might rotate it on a little bit of a slant here. Obviously, it's just going to be using one thumbnail, so it's not a huge deal if it doesn't look like stunning, absolutely perfect. So there we go. He's holding the flint and steel, and it's pretty alright. And yeah, I'm just going to go with that simple pose. Pretty nice entry-level beginner pose. And for some reason, the leg, I think it's the right foot, got a little off, so we'll fix that. And there we go. So he's in his pose. Perfect. Now you're ready to export this guy into your thumbnail, right? So last step, double-click down here, create a new material, double-click on the material, and I always go full green, blue to the bottom, and red to the bottom. So essentially what we're doing is we're making a green screen for this guy. And go up to here, where it says floor, hold it down, and go to background. You'll create a little background variable up here, and then drag your material to the background. And now you've got a green screen. It doesn't look like it, but you have one. So then, just pan your camera to whatever angle you want to be looking at your character from. This looks good to me. Then I'll go like that. Window, full screen mode, render, render view. And now we're just going to render out the picture. Simple as that. You've got your character with a green screen, and this is where the Photoshop comes in. This is also where Lightroom comes in. And you can see a little bit of imperfections in my render, which I would touch up, like, if it was a really big render. This is just for a thumbnail, though, so it's alright. Looks okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Next thing, we're going to actually use Lightshot, which I was talking about. And I'll provide download links to every software I'm using in the description, of course. So Lightshot, click on it, and we've got a little gray screen here. You select the area that you want to take a screenshot of, just like that. It's literally as simple as that. Hit the little save icon, floppy disk. I'll just save it to the desktop, call it evs or whatever. Save, and there we go. So it'll give you a notification that you saved it. And excellent. So at this point, you're free to close Cinema 4D. You don't need to save your work or anything, as long as you're perfectly happy with your picture that you exported. So all right, let's just close that. No, because basically the free trial won't let you save it, and that's what makes it the free trial. But like, we didn't need to save our work there because we already have our picture. So I'm just gonna drag this onto my other monitor really quick and open up Photoshop. So this is where the Photoshop portion comes in, and basically I'll show you kind of the easiest way, in my opinion, to do the thumbnail that I do. So I always start off Control O, and let's see, I just need to navigate to my pictures. I always start off with this picture, which is a 1080p picture that I found like originally on the internet, I think, and I adjusted it. And if you know, this is the picture I've been using in my thumbnails for a while for the background. So I always double click on this, make it into a layer, hit OK, and image adjustments, and then hue and saturation. And I always change the color of it each time, and I'm trying to think of a color I haven't used in a while. I'm actually going to check my YouTube channel. Well, let's check real quick. So I used orange, I used purple, green, red, and blue. That's not orange, that's yellow. What color to use? I'll go with orange. Orange. I want to do orange. So, find a nice little orange color here. This is pretty orange. If we bump the saturation up, that'll be very orange. So you can change the color, saturation, and lightness. Something like this. I usually just play around with it until I find something I like. You can do the same. And now just grab your picture and drag it in. Here we have our character. You can hold Shift and resize the corners here to make it however big you want. So I just set it down right in the middle of the picture. Hit enter. And then we need to delete the green that's behind him, because that's the whole point of the green screen. So paintbrush tool and click on it once and hit OK. And basically what that does is it rasterizes it and it turns it into pixels, because it wasn't pixels before. In order to delete the green screen, we need it to be pixels. So it's pixels. Highlight the pixels with the magic wand tool up here, and then hit delete. Bam, they're all gone. And sometimes it'll miss some, so you just do the same. thing. You just keep doing it until all the green is gone. Then do Control D to deselect, and then you have your character. And back to the move tool up here. You can move them around as long as you have the layer selected. Basically, how this works is this is layers, and if I drag this layer below this layer, it'll be behind it, quite literally. So the background's always in back, the character's always in front. I'll do something a little bit like that. Put them there. Perfect. So next, you download the Minecraft logo from the internet. I already have it downloaded. Like I said, I expect you guys to know how to download things. I think all of you know how to do that. But yeah, I have a folder named thumbnail texts, and I have the Minecraft logo.png right in here. So let's just do that. Do this and drag the logo on. Perfect. So we have the Minecraft logo. Hold shift, resize it. I usually do like about that big. Then center it. Why is it not giving me? There we go. In Photoshop, it'll give you a little line that helps you center it perfectly. Then I always drag it behind my character so the character can go over it. That looks good. So we got the Minecraft logo. Everything's going smoothly. And then what is this? This is Skywars, and I always have like I always have little texts here that I use for different thumbnails. The Skywars one's kind of ugly. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what I was really thinking when I made it, but oh well. So I'll do that. I want to do something a little bit like that. You can resize it, put it behind the character, and yeah, it looks good. And you notice there's a little watermark on it, so if I wanted to get rid of that, I just have to have the Skywars layer selected, rasterize it, and then go in with the eraser and just get rid of that. There. All right. That looks good. So we have Skywars. Now we just need to add the name. So I'm just going to add some text that says Pyro. And there's a lot of ways you can do this. The first way is you can use Photoshop text, the text tool right here, and you can play around with that. The next way, the easiest way, if you're a beginner, I think, is to go to a website like flamingtext.com and get some text from there, like some nice cartoony looking text for a thumbnail. And that's probably the way we're going to do it, because I'm assuming everyone's a beginner. You would just want the easiest, simplest way. And that's what I'm going to show you. So Google Chrome or whatever web browser, flamingtext.com, and you're here. And you got all these different options. We'll go with something pretty simple like this one. And I'm just going to write Pyro. And this website's very simple. It's very nice for beginners. I'm going to adjust the size a little bit. Go up to background. This is something important. Background tab, make sure it's transparent, because otherwise you'll have a white block behind your text and no one wants that. Shadow is optional. I always make some pretty big outlines so you can see the text. Then I'm going to make this Pyro like an orangey yellow, because, you know, Pyro, you know, clever like that. Whatever. There we go. A little exclamation point to make it more exciting. And, yeah, then I'll go, probably, you can change the font by hitting this, and then go to the new fonts, whatever you want. This looks like an interesting font, but I don't know if it'll be, yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. So you got your text, right? Next, and you should be able to just download it right here. Perfect. Then you're going to want to drag it into Photoshop. Bam, you got your text. That simple. Resize it to whatever you want. And then I'll just put it right here. There we go. I'm going to grab the eraser tool. Click on it. Yes, we want to rasterize it. And then get rid of that watermark because no one wants that. There we go. Alright, so it's as simple as that. What I always do is I highlight my character tool. Go to FX down here. Give him a nice little drop shadow. And then also, the drop shadow is kind of weird though. I'll decrease the distance. And you can mess with the opacity, distance, spread. This is all pretty self-explanatory. So you guys can figure that out. But yeah, you can mess with some settings there to increase the drop, or fix the drop shadow to how you like it. Then one thing I always add is stroke. And that's up here. Stroke, and it gives him a little black outline. You can be the judge of whether or not you think it looks good. I'm not usually a fan of outlines, but I just kind of do it for the character, just for thumbnail's sake. I generally tend to go with pretty cartoony looking thumbnails. And that's why, you know, cartoons have outlines, etc., etc. And the last thing is missing something. It's missing something down here, so sometimes what I'll do is I'll bring a little piece of clip art in to fill up the extra space. And I'll just go with something really basic. I'll just go with some fire PNG, since, you know, Pyro. And yeah, we'll go something like, let's see, which one do I want? I mean, I could go with some cartoony stuff, some realistic stuff, really anything. Go with some cartoon stuff. That looks like it works. And you can see if it has a clear background, which is good. I'm going to just go ahead and drag that onto the desktop, which is on my other monitor over there. X out of Google Chrome. Bring it back into Photoshop, and there we go. Perfect. And I'm just going to resize this. I'll probably, something like that. And then lower it a little bit. Good. Now I'm going to put my character above this, because I want him to be like in front of the fire, maybe. And that Pyro can be behind the fire. And now something I'm going to do with the fire. Actually, I don't know. What looks better? Maybe he should be behind the fire. Nah, he should be in front of it. Yeah. Alright, so we have that. Looking good. Now I'm just gonna make the one last thing. The fire should be a little bit clearer, I think. So, opacity right here. Have the fire layer selected. I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. And maybe if I toned it down to like 50% and then I had the character on top of it, maybe that would look better. Like beneath. I honestly don't know. I think this looks kind of cool though, so I'll go with that. And that's it. There we have our thumbnail. Pretty standard. Looks pretty decent. I mean, I guess it's better than a normal default thumbnail, so we got that going for us. And let's just save it, and that's gonna pretty much wrap up this tutorial. 5 minutes shorter than the last time I did this tutorial, so that's pretty good for my standards. It's still a pretty long tutorial, so if you stuck through all the way, good for you. Hopefully you learned something. File, save as. I just always save it as a JPEG to my mass storage, pictures, thumbnail tutorials, JPEG. Let's see, Skywars Pyro, something like, so I can find it. 8 is fine for a JPEG, especially a thumbnail, and there we go. We got it saved. I'm not going to save my Photoshop document because I like that how it is. It's fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We got everything accomplished. The thumbnail is made and it's ready for the video, which coincidentally I haven't actually recorded yet, so I should probably do that. Anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this tutorial. Hopefully, if you still have questions, just comment them down below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And yeah, so that was my first tutorial. Maybe I went too fast, maybe I went too slow. Just let me know. And yeah, good luck with your thumbnails, good luck with your channels, and that's about it. So see you later.